For a brief, shiny moment, the Roman Empire under the Severan dynasty looked like it had its act together. Sure, there was the occasional assassination and civil war, but that was just Tuesday in Rome. The system worked, sort of. Then came Emperor Alexander Severus, a perfectly reasonable man who thought the best way to deal with an Alemanni invasion was through diplomacy and, paying them to go away. His soldiers, specifically the Legio XVII Primigenia, had a different, much simpler idea. They decided that paying barbarians was a sign of weakness, whereas murdering your own emperor and his mother in a tent in Germania was a sign of proactive problem-solving. In 235 AD, they did just that, kicking off a 50-year period where being the Roman emperor became the most dangerous job in the world. What followed was less an orderly succession and more a homicidal game of musical chairs. The period of the barracks emperors saw at least 26 men claim the throne in just 49 years. Most of them were generals who were declared emperor by their troops, ruled for about 10 minutes, and were then promptly killed by the next guy's troops. We had Maximinus Thrax, a Thracian peasant supposedly over 8 feet tall, who started the whole mess. Then there were Gordian I and Gordian II, a father-son duo who co-ruled from Africa for a glorious 21 days before being defeated and dying. It got so bad that armies would just proclaim their commander emperor as a way of demanding a raise. The job security was terrible, but for a few weeks, the pay was fantastic. While Rome was busy with its internal demolition derby, everyone on the borders noticed the security guards were fighting each other. In the east, the new and aggressive Sasanian Empire was having a field day. Their king, Shapur I, managed to do something unthinkable. He captured a Roman emperor alive. In 260 AD, Emperor Valerian was taken prisoner and, according to some rather cheerful Roman historians, was used as a human footstool for Shapur to mount his horse. Meanwhile, up north, a collection of Germanic tribes like the Goths and Alemanni decided this was the perfect time to redecorate the Roman frontier with fire and looting. They flooded across the Rhine and Danube rivers. Rome wasn't just in crisis, it was a global all-you-can-pillage buffet, and everyone was invited. With the central government being a revolving door of failure, some parts of the empire decided to opt out. It wasn't about independence, just competence. In the West, a general named Postumus set up the Gallic Empire, which included Gaul, Britannia, and Hispania. He basically said, "Fine, I'll protect this part of the empire myself, you guys keep killing each other in Rome." In the east, the brilliant and ambitious Queen Zenobia of Palmyra took a similar approach. While technically acting as regent for her son, she carved out the Palmyrene Empire, snapping up Egypt, Rome's breadbasket, and a huge chunk of the Levant. For a while, the Roman Empire was just Italy, North Africa, and the Balkans. It was like a group project where two people decided to do their own, better projects, leaving the original guy with a failing grade and a lot of debt. To pay for all the armies needed to fight each other and the invaders, the emperors discovered a magical solution: just make more money. The problem was they were running out of actual silver. The main coin, the Antoninianus, started out as about 50% silver. As the crisis deepened, emperors just kept reducing the silver content and adding more cheap metal. By the 260s, it was basically a bronze coin with a thin silver wash that would rub off in a week. This, shockingly, led to hyperinflation. prices for goods skyrocketed because the money was worthless. People went back to bartering. Imagine trying to buy bread with a chicken because the coins in your pocket were a literal joke. The Roman economy was running on fumes and bad financial decisions. As if constant war and economic meltdown weren't enough, the universe decided to throw in a pandemic. The plague of Cyprian swept through the empire for about 20 years. At its peak, it was killing an estimated 5,000 people a day in the city of Rome alone. This led to massive depopulation across the empire. With fewer people to farm the land, agriculture collapsed, leading to widespread famine. With fewer people to tax, the state had even less money. With fewer men to recruit, the army was weaker. It was a perfect, self-reinforcing doom loop. The grand Roman infrastructure of roads and aqueducts started to crumble from neglect because the people who knew how to maintain them were either dead or busy fighting for some two-bit general's imperial ambitions. Just when it seemed like the whole experiment was over, a series of tough-as-nails emperors from Illyria started to turn things around. The most effective of them was Aurelian. In a 5-year reign from 270 to 275, this man was a whirlwind of pure, unadulterated competence. He defeated multiple Germanic invasions, abandoned the indefensible province of Dacia to shorten the border, and then went about putting the empire back together. First, he marched east and crushed Zenobia's Palmyrene Empire. Then he marched west and convinced the Gallic Empire to rejoin without much of a fight. He even found time to build a massive new set of walls around Rome, just in case. They called him Restitutor Orbis, Restorer of the World. And for his troubles, he was, of course, assassinated by his own officials who were tricked into thinking he was going to execute them. No good deed goes unpunished, especially in 3rd century Rome. The man who finally slammed the door on the chaos was Diocletian. He realized the old system was broken beyond repair. His solution was basically to turn the empire into a highly regulated, militarized bureaucracy. He created the Tetrarchy, a system of 4 emperors ruling different quadrants of the empire, hoping to prevent civil wars over succession. A noble idea that worked perfectly until he retired. He tried to fix the economy by issuing an edict on maximum prices, which set legal limits on what you could charge from eggs to legal services. It failed spectacularly, creating a massive black market. The crisis was over, but the Roman Empire that emerged was fundamentally different. The illusion of the old republic was gone, replaced by the dominate, where the emperor was an absolute monarch, a living god. He'd save the empire, but he had to destroy the village to do it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more historical insights. Thanks for watching, nerds!